Morning. All right, guys. First off, I want to start off by saying Happy Friday. Disclaimer is right. I'm going to go through, as you guys seen in the trading floor. I mentioned I'm not live on TikTok. Hope you're able to watch this in the community or on YouTube is fine as well. The primary thing that we want to go through on this particular huddle is one. I want to talk about the market, what happened yesterday with that fall, kind of where we found the support, why we found support, and kind of where I think we're going next. Now, I put it out this morning, guys, in the trading floor. I mean, this past week has really not been a very easy trading week. There's a lot of signs that have been there, but when I say it's not easy, if you zoom back out, I mean, these are some just absolute massive movement corrections, right? Which is just so much money that is made in those. But you got to be able to see those signs. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that and kind of I want to do one more review on market insights. I'm probably going to shift the huddle to this format on Fridays going forward because I believe Fridays need to be a little more about education and training and a little less about trading itself. And so this should be the day that you take the time to study your charts. If you see an opportunity, something that is just 100% clear on your charts, right? Take it. You don't have to give up money if you're confident in what you see. But you just don't want to get stuck on Fridays if you can avoid it. So let's talk a little bit about kind of where we end up yesterday. We'll talk about the morning insights. We'll probably try to spend about 15 minutes or so. We're not going to go too deep. And I'm also going to show you guys kind of how to execute that replay bar so that way you can practice as well today. So I just have a few appointments. I have a nothing major, but just a doctor's appointment I got to do this morning, and then have a few appointments with Alex as well. So I'm going to go through the market. We'll go through some features, and we'll get going. So let's talk about yesterday. As you guys know, we did have that pump up here. We had the pump up here, a little correction. This is kind of one of those situations where you do have, let's just kind of start it off, right? You do have a little mini shoulder. You got the double top, right? Rejection off of this two-peak trend line, which caused the breakdown right here. Now, we did find that support most of yesterday and had that kind of pump up north, from that 435 up to that 437. If you guys notice on the chart here, even from the 5 minute, right? If you were to take this wick, it pulls it out, could be a potential bear flag. So people that saw a flag, you're not wrong. And people that saw a rising wedge, you're not wrong, right? And so if you were to take the next wick and you were to pull it like that, you can see we had the fall, the rising wedge, we have our bearish candle with the bearish confirmation, kept dojiing out, market started to lose faith, dropped again. Not only is this breaking down here, but it's also breaking below the 200 you can see here on the 5 minute, right? So that created some extra volume. It tried to bounce, couldn't hold the bounce, created the extra volume, and then just bled down from there. So I want to talk about a little bit about where we found support and why. So when you get into these type of crashes, if we were to replay this back here, your first thought is that you should get support here, and you wouldn't be wrong, right? That's a very ideal way to get support, but it's very hard to want to flip into a call when all you see is that red, just bam, 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 right? All you see is this red. We have our first green confirmation, so there's something significant here. If you zoom back out, it's not massive, but there is 2 points of support that if you pull this up, right, it lines up pretty close to perfect with where we found some support here. Plus, if you pull back, you can see, remember we talked about this, what was resistance may hold as support. Now we're not guaranteed to hold this support, so after a fall like this, you would need to hold off for some serious confirmation, right? Just to be sure. Otherwise, you could get caught in a continued bleed. You do have some confirmation here where the divergence hunter did flip green. If you go over to the 2 minute, which is, you know, what I love to use the harmonics for, you can see we also got the long confirmation. So this long confirmation plus this would give you a potential scalp opportunity in there off of that to kind of, you know, capture that reversal. So the current price that we're at now, I don't know that it's gonna shoot us to all-time highs or anything crazy. I still believe we're gonna get up into that 440 range. So this could be our potential higher low from, you know, these previous areas here that could drive us back up to that 440. So I bring that up because I want you guys to not think to put because of this. It's okay to take calls, but I don't want you to think to call because at the same time, if you still go out to the 1 hour, we're still kind of on that cliff, right? Now, another point that I wanted to bring up back on the bounce. We had the 1 hour right here. You had a bullish candle off of the 1 hour on the 200 EMA. Keep in mind, we have that golden cross, right? If we bring back on the Bollinger, you can see we have this golden cross. Remember, we talked about once it loses this 21, it's going to create this squeeze. So something we want to really watch out for now is, are we going to continue this squeeze? This is what could create that range, right? To keep us in that range of trading. So our new lower range possibly could be that around 431.40 or so. And the new upper range could be around 436.19. So we may not actually get back up to that 437. If we do, it's almost guaranteed that we are going to keep that momentum going up into this upper range here to get us back to that 440. So with this kind of a fall like this, I would not be surprised if we don't continue upward a little bit today. But really watch, I think the current price we're sitting about 434.80. I would really watch this area here because we could get that clean rejection, right? And so as I play this off, one of the other things that you want to look for, which is obviously causing some momentum today, is on the 1 hour you have your double bottom. We're also at that neckline, and we're at that 21, right? So we're in that squeeze here. So you can see that through the hours, it actually has adjusted. It's actually came down on the extended hours. And so now we're 434.91. So if we flip this back to green, right, there's really not a ton. You know, we would have to zoom out and look for potential uptrend stops, right? And the only one that I see really that's clear is this one. You could take a more localized one and take this peak here and pull it into that hard rejection we had. That would get you a little bit tighter if that helps you out. And so now you can see, let's bring it in, get it right on that peak so we can get a really good picture of it. So right about there. I'm gonna make this one a little different color. I'm just gonna go like a you know, pink or red. Just so I know that that's a hard possible rejection point. So we could see a double bottom play out, have us break north again, get back up to that 437 potential, and then have another hard rejection, right? Now, for me, again, the biggest thing that I'm watching today is that SMA. Can we reclaim it, or are we going to reject it, right? And it's trying to reclaim it right now. So we have this squeeze area. If we do reclaim this, the likelihood of us coming back up to retest this is pretty good if we reclaim it and hold as support. So we do have some things going for us, right? Obviously, we're flipping back green. We were red here on the 1 hour. Let's check the daily. Daily's curling down, and you can see. So this is our Thursday, right? This is our first red candle close for the day. So this next candle close for today is going to be really, really huge, because either you would need to see a potential doji or something, because if we close below 433.64 or for sure below 431.40, it's coming down in a big way, probably all the way down to 426 to retest the 200 on the daily there. So that's just some stuff that we'll be watching for today. If you're scalping, I would highly suggest, because of the ranging nature we might be entering, just wait for your confirmed resistance, your confirmed support, and stick to the indicators, right? You can also use the 5-minute chart to try to determine. Obviously, you can see when we're oversold, we tend to flip up. Well, now that we're overbought, just like we were here, we tended to flip down. You can see we were oversold. We tended to go up. And you can see even in this small area right here, right, we were still oversold and we tended to go up, right? Now, this one didn't quite make overbought, but obviously that shifted you down. You can see here we were overbought and we shifted down. Now, there is some sections here, right? We were still overbought. You did get a little bit of a drop from 437 to 436.98 or so. So it's about a 40% drop, right? Not much there. So this was probably the only instance that we did not get much of that drop. But you can see, other than that, it keeps you pretty accurate on trend, right? You can see the reds tell you if you're overbought, and then the greens will tell you if you're oversold. And so again, you can see, right, nice little scalps, when you come out of that. Even through these uptrends, look, there and there. I mean, this is $2 movements or so. You can see the green, you can see the red, right? So you can use this to try to help keep you on trend. It's going to give you a little bit more potential for your patience to add to that. And you can see right now, right, what are we? We're overbought. So one of the things I'm following, you can see I obviously have already drawn the lines. I'm going to delete this one so you can see it, but we do have the fall. So remember we talked about yesterday we had fall 1, and we talked about the market likes to do it in threes. So now we had a push north, we had a fall 2. This could be a potential push north and then our fall 3, right, to come back to retest this 431. So don't chase. If you're in this upper range, if this thing is way up top here, you should be thinking put, right? You just want to wait for that curl to catch that put. If this thing starts to creep back down and you're green, you should be thinking call. And that's something that you could use as like another rule for your strategy, is that you can use the divergence hunter to say, okay, if these are green and it flips green, I'm not taking any more puts until it flips red and this flips red. Then I'm not taking any more calls. It'll help you kind of guide you to keep you on trend with that. So that way you have a little more potential to be on the right track to protect you from these type of crazy movements like this, right? The interesting thing I want to point out too, and then I'll jump into the insights, is with everything going on with the markets, if you look at the tech stocks, they're really not, they're just not doing the same thing. I mean, look at, you had a little fall, but when you look at Thursday's fall and pump, I mean, it really was not much. I mean, on Apple, again, the tech stocks are not following what the SPY is doing. So the SPY is being manipulated, and they're doing it for a reason. There's some trapping going on. So you got to be very, very careful and selective on your entries. The dollar, I mean, look at it. It didn't really reciprocate what happened yesterday, right? I mean, it did a little bit, because you can see this pump right here obviously is when we dumped, and then it's just kind of creeping, but we've been mostly sideways while we're still pumping again on the SPY. So Bitcoin did find its support around 25.6. I was anticipating support somewhere around 25.8, so pretty close. We do have a little bit of a inverse head and shoulder here that might come up to reclaim this, but remember, this inverse head and shoulder could potentially break up to reclaim this side. But if it rejects somewhere like here, right, now it could end up flipping into where you can take something like this and then end up like that, right, where it pumps up like that. It's super early to draw something like that. That would still allow the inverse head and shoulder to play out, pump back up, and then back down. So just always keep an open mind to the potential of the thing you'll learn when you start to learn patterns is every pattern always is a pre-pattern to create another pattern. It's just you got to find out what it is or where it's going, right? So we put the ranges out today, guys. Here's your ranges. Here's your key level. You can see the key level has been a very, very big player. If you're staying above this key level, anything towards the bottom part of it, when you're finding support, you want to play those calls. Anything below these lines, if you're hitting rejection like this, or you're getting double tops or rounded tops, things like this, you want to be careful for that drop, because see, every time it's hit this one, right, we've had a pretty significant drop. This one, it was above it, it broke it, tried to hold it, broke it, retested, and bam, see the big drop. Even here, tried to break it, double topped, and bam, big drop, right? The support level, if you can see here, was somewhere around this level. It was very, very, very close. You know, when you have this big of a movement, right, this could just be some simple price action. So at the end of the day, as scary as these crazy movements look, we're really just ranging between that 432 and 437 range, right, for the last, I mean, since what, Tuesday, this last Tuesday. So that's where you kind of want to watch with your range on there. So I wanted to talk briefly, this is also why I'm doing it this way, about covering the market insights again. So for those who don't know, if you are watching this, you need to always be watching these market insights. So you can see yesterday on the market insights that we had put out right here, we had some areas to watch, prior resistance, right, up in this level. We never really made that level. We began to bleed from there when we opened. Now, the interesting thing to you, or that you should be watching, is let's go back to the few days prior. So notice here we had nothing but bullish days. There was literally no bearish days. No data show that there was bearish sentiment. Don't mistake that for there's no puts. Obviously there's puts, right? What it means is that the ratio of how many puts are in there compared to how many calls are in there, the calls were crushing it every day. And so you can see where we were and how that sentiment pushed us up. Now, if you look at the prior days, right, go back before, you can see the same thing, right? And you can see where it was, we were lower. So it helps you kind of guide you to say, okay, the sentiment hasn't changed. We haven't balanced. There's not like half bulls, half, bears. It's all been bulls, right? The bears haven't even stepped up to win enough on the contract ratios in general. And so now let's take us up to yesterday. And I noted this note in the market insight. We not only did a half, but we did a complete flip to bearish, right? No bullish days for the rest of October in the market. And you can see that's where we were when that data came out. So that tells you that the market itself is saying, hey, we've been too bullish, we're starting to shift. We're going to throw in some puts, right? It does not mean that we can't continue up. It just means that there's probably a move coming, right? And you want to think about this in the market. Now, the market makers are always going to balance it the best that they can. So you want to take where we're at. You want to take what you see. So we had the bearish flip. We knew we were up about 438. And you want to match that to your max pain levels. The average max pain levels was somewhere between 429 and 435. So the likelihood of a pullback, even to 435 at least, seemed pretty likely. Now, it doesn't have to play out right away, but in this case, it did. So I will try to call out those shifts. You can see right here, I put notice the massive shift in market contracts overall. Use it as a guide, right, to find your entries. Then we have our levels, we have our crucial number, and then we have the additional max pains, plus you have the comments of the market. We talk about the pump, the data, the CPI came out bearish. It wasn't, so I don't want to say just bearish, because it wasn't really bearish. It was a situation of the market was too excited based on the FOMC meeting notes, and what they believed the data was going to match with. So we saw the crazy push north. It didn't come out bearish. It was actually better than what it was. It just wasn't as good as expected. So it's not enough to fully shift our trajectory yet, but it's enough to say, hey, maybe we overbought this. Let's close our call positions because it's about to come down. That chain reaction you get of those big drops is because people are closing positions. It's hitting their trailing stop losses as the price is coming down. Think about it. If you're in a buy to open, which is a call buy to open, then what that is you're buying it to go up. Your stop loss has to sell a sell to close. So you're selling it. Well, if you're selling it, it's going back down, right? So every time it hits somebody's stop loss, it's a chain reaction of a drop until all those calls that people had stop losses on are cleared out, and the bulls believe that it's now a better entry to rebuy it, which is what we saw. Even though the news wasn't as good as what we anticipated, it wasn't as bad as it needed to be to really crush some certain levels, which is why we're seeing some climb back today. So that's a little bit more back on, continued help to how to interpret these insights. We did have the insights put out again today. We do have our key levels all set. You can already see we're about almost $2 above this. We are actually creeping up on our resistance level already. And we talk about, again, the basic stuff. I'm trying to clear it up to minimize questions. This is not my projection. Just to be clear again, when I say bullish or bear stage, this is the market sentiment for actual contracts in the brokerages. This is the brokerage's data, not mine. I am trying to teach you how to interpret this data to help you with your direction and how the overall market is shifting, because you want to try to trade with the trend, not against the trend, right? But you don't want to get caught as it begins to shift. When you start to see these balance, where you're getting half and half, or they're really close, these numbers are pretty close. Like a 0.98 is not it's not really that far off on what we have, right? And so we just want to kind of keep a close eye when it comes to those type of things. So I hope that helps you guys understand it a little bit. The last thing I wanted to talk about, because I don't want to make this call too long, is we did create a new feature. So options trading is not easy. Forget the technical side of it. Let's just talk about the brokerage side of it. For those who are new to options trading, there's a lot of questions, confusion about what is ask price, what is bid price, what is the theta, the delta, what does this all mean? What does strike price mean? How do I enter? Like all these things, right? Then you open your brokerage and there's a million things to click. You have to click your ask price. You have to find your bar, match everything up. You have to click, to confirm it, to open it. Then it goes to another page that says, to confirm and send. So there's a lot of steps into opening that trade. Then when you open it, people have trouble finding where to find the position, or how do I close the position, and then panic starts to ensue, right? It can be very confusing for people. So Alex and I have been working a lot this week on building a way to simplify that, because as you guys know, in our community, we're constantly wanting to grow and improve things. So we did complete it. I'm going to put out a little announcement once market opens, and I can actually share the full screenshot. But in your ATA, if you are using the regular live trader, or if you're using the copy trade, it will work, but we don't have it tied in to work on the copy trade where it will fire all of your accounts. If you're using the copy trade, it's strictly for the one account. We're working through that, but it has been fully tested. We have we did probably 100 trades yesterday, just opening and closing them. And what this does is, if let's say you want to trade, we want to help this dashboard be your one-stop kind of trading shop, right? So what you do is you come in here. If you want to open an order, I suggest you always keep this open. If you're new, it tells you create a trade, tells you exactly what this tool is for. So I'm just going to read that. The tool is to open trades manually Input the data below, then click on Create Trade to initiate the trade. This is connected directly to your Tasty Trade account and will trigger a real-time trade, so don't use this as practice. Always ensure you have enough buy power to cover your trade if you're attempting to open. You will close any open trades using the Trading ATA dashboard. Once you create this trade, it will refresh, and then it will display your trade right there. That is where you're going to close that trade. If you're not familiar with what all this stuff means, this is the basic simplified version of options that we can do to help y'all open trades. I only have the SPY symbol right now because I only have the SPY symbol activated on here. If I go to edit, see they're all disabled. If I choose to enable it here and I update my ATA, if you decide you want to trade a different pair, you will see now they're both there, and when I hit create, you will also see that now they're both there. So once you choose your symbol, you're going to choose your volume. If you're not sure what this means, highlight over. Volume determines how many contracts you are opening. If you're not sure the cost of the contract, you will need to refer to Tasty Trade account to see the value of the contracts and total risk involved. Now, I will tell you guys, we are talking to one of their lead technical people. He has been awesome. We're working with him to try to gather the data to pull from the ask price quotes. Now, we're really, really close. This is going to be huge once we get that information from them, because we will be able to calculate the cost of that contract and we will post it in here for you based on what their quote is, because the math is not hard. We just have to be able to get that data. Also, by getting that data, it's going to enable us to show a true running P&L the same way you see it on Tasty Trade on your dashboard, which is going to be awesome, because now you literally almost don't even need to open Tasty Trade ever. So that is something that we're working towards, but currently right now it will work. You just have to, if you want to do one contract and you're not sure how much that costs, you need to look at your Tasty Trade to see how much your one contract will cost. The cost will change depending on the date you do. So as you do your one volume, if you want to know call or put, highlight over. Determines the direction. Call is a term for the market going up. Put is a term for the market going down. Keeping it stupid simple, right? If you're going to take a call, we have now built in the percent, where this percent, right, will determine the percent away from your strike price. So when you choose the percent, let's say I put 0.6, see, it adjusts my strike price. If I want to do 1% away, it'll adjust my strike price. It'll auto adjust it, but it will show you what that strike price is so you can actually see it. This is going to help you determine what that cost is going to be. So what you would do is you would say, okay, let's say I want to take a trade to there. You do have to count the days. 0, it's always 0, 1, 2, 3. So I know this is a 3-day contract. So once I'm prepared this, I'm watching my charts, I'm prepared, I'm thinking, okay, I want to take a 3-day contract. I know this is what I want to trade. I'm just preparing it. I can have this already set and go, right, to create this trade, and then I can watch. The moment that I see an open entry for me to take my call, I can just hit create trade. Now, here's the cool part. Let's say you're watching it and you're like, ooh, we're about to hit resistance. We're about to hit resistance. It's going down. You flip this to put, and everything else stays the same. Your strike price updates. You can literally change your direction that quick. Let that update. Once the create button comes back, you hit create. I have done this about 100 times. The moment I create it, it fires on my Tasty Trade. And if you want to test it, I suggest have your phone up. Have your phone ready to go. So that way, the moment you see it fire, you get that alert, you can test it, right? But this is kind of something we're working towards to kind of simplify y'all opening and closing trades. Again, the moment you open this trade, it will refresh your screen, and then you will have the ability to close it. You don't close it in here. Once you open a trade, there's no way for us yet to save this data. So when you open this trade, it's going to go like this. It's going to show you that trade. If you want to close it, you hit the little close button below it. If you want to create a different trade, you open it. You will have to, oh, actually he did it. Look at that. He was working on it last night, but he did get it to where it saves it from once you put in that price, right? And actually, did you notice that it updated? See how it pulls the Apple strike price? Or it had it on the refresh. Yeah, there it goes. Just took a minute. So we have it all built. It's been tested. It's been working. I hope it helps y'all out on creating trades a little bit faster. This was something that we were putting together to prepare people for when CK is helping trade in the morning. As y'all seen, who traded with us yesterday, he trades very, very quick. It's watch, enter. Watch, close, right? And you want to be able to be quick on that. Sometimes going through the app or going through all the steps, right? Things get mistakes were made, right? So we're really trying to simplify that and just make this a lot easier. We have, if you want to know the explanations for everything, just highlight over these little question marks, and you'll be dialed in as far as what everything means. So again, I hope y'all enjoy this. This right here, the create button, does not require any webhook. It does not require anything to do with TradingView. This is a direct fire from our website to our server to Tastytrade server. So any account that you have in here, so if let's say you have multiple accounts, they're all going to have a create button. So you'll know which ones you're firing it to, because you'll have to do each individual create button on that. So, but again, I hope y'all enjoy that. I'm going to put out an announcement now that we are done with that. We do have some further testing that we will be doing today, which is another reason why I can't meet today. We're just getting ready, right? So we'll be prepared through today, and then next week we're going to hit that ground running. So that was my huddle today, guys. I hope that it helps you out. If you guys have time today, again, you all know how I did it. You just simply, to keep yourself honest, go to a 1 hour chart, squish this sucker down as tight as you could possibly do it, stretch the heck out of it without really looking, take your replay button and drop it. Now you go back to your 5 or 1 or whatever you want to do, and you stretch it out, and you'll have no idea where that's going, right? You have no idea where it's going. And then you can just trade it. Quick thing is, if you want to take a call, you hit the buy. When you want to close it, you hit the sell. When you want to play it, you hit the play button. When you want to pause it, you pause it. If you want to speed it up, change the speed, right? You can change the speed if you want to try to go here. Use your TA. Treat this like it's a real trade, right? If you want to short it, you short it. If you're right, it's going to go green. If it's wrong, it's going to go red. You have your profit. When you close it, it gives you your profit for the day. If you miss something or you want to back up, you hit this little button and you back it up. This is how you should be doing your training. It's real time. It is extremely easy for somebody to just look at this and say, I knew it was going to do this. Like, oh yeah, I mean, it's a double top, of course. I mean, I took this whole short. This is $80,000 trade. It's so easy to say that, right? But is it easy to say that when it's like that and you see support, right? And so that's how you keep yourself honest throughout the process. So a little long-winded on this, guys. I went a little bit over. I'm about at that 30 minutes, and I do got to cut off, but I hope it was a lot of very good information for you. And we will I'll be available on the trading floor if you need me. I got to head out here shortly. But I'm always available mobily. So, and if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope everybody has a great week.